Good afternoon, students. In today's source of energy, let us study about thermal power plant, hydro power plant, and biomass. In depth we will study. And here, all these are about to convert heat energy into electrical energy, or converting some mechanical energy into heat energy. That is, we can see the conversion of energy from one form to another form, right? So let us start with thermal power plant. So I already gave my introduction how we will manufacture from this in the last class, but today let us see in depth. This is explained through an activity in our textbook. That activity is nothing but which we can easily observe, which we can make an experiment in our own way. So let us understand what is that, and let us see later on what is actually thermal power plant. So in this topic, they told that we should take, I just explained the activity. Later on, you read that activity, okay? So by taking table tennis ball, we should cut that into 3 and we should make up 3 slits. Later on, we should cover that with metal sheets. And just we need to make that in the form of fan. So that should be connected with an axle so that it can easily rotate. So this what we made, just like a turbine with a table tennis ball, that should be easily rotate. Okay, so this one next we should connect with dynamo. Dynamo is nothing but which generates electricity or direct electricity through a commutator, and to this we should connect electric bulb. All are in series. So here what we should do is we should take a pressure cooker which is heating. Here we have some electrical heater, so induced stove. So on that we took a pressure cooker. So here look what happens. Pressure cooker has heat increases, it will keep visually with a high pressure, right? So that pressure we should pass that in a tube and we should focus on this turbine. So on that high pressure, whenever the cooker whistle, this will start turning. Then here with the cycle dynamo, it will start producing DC current and will hence the bulb will glow. This is what the first activity says. Now let us take a look how this activity practically works. We have set up a pressure cooker with water and kept on heater, and steam pipe is connected to a top of the cooker, while the pressure accumulated in the cooker passes out upon heating. And this is how the setup is done. Watch carefully. A small turbine, dynamo and bulb are connected in series and placed near the end of steam pipe. You switches on the heater and observe, we can see the turbine start to rotate and bulb glows. And thus we can see here mechanical energy convert into electrical energy. And this is a small plant for generating electricity. And this is how the big thermal electric plants also works. So this is the picture which demonstrates the process of thermoelectric production. So we should be able to write this one in a very rough sketch, okay? So actually in a thermal power stations, what happens? A large amount of fossil fuels will be burning along with the water. Then they will produce steam, and that steam is passed to a turbine which will start rotating, and hence we will get electricity, right? This is what actually the procedure. Now here we need to understand that the transmission of electricity which we produced here, that will be more easier than the transmission of coal or petroleum. So it will take a large amount or inconvenience to transmission of petroleum or coal. So what happens? The thermal power plant they will try to set up their power plant almost near to the. Let us understand what are the points we should remember under the thermal power plant. First one is we understood how it will work through the earlier activity, right? Now the points which we need to remember are, look at the board. A power plant which uses heat energy to generate electricity. So here the burning of fossil fuels with water produces steam to run turbines, right? Next, the transmission of electricity is more efficient, and due to that many thermal power plants are set up near coal or oil fields to minimize the cost of transportation and the production of electricity in thermal power plant. So now we finished our thermal power plant. Now let us study what is hydro power plant. Hydro power plant. The name itself suggests that it's from water, H2O, and we know that it is associated with dams, right? So it is associated with dams. And one more thing, what happens here, the principle, how it works, the hydro power plant is, it will convert the potential energy of falling water to electricity with some sort of procedure which we will learn later. And in our India, almost 25% of electricity is generated by this method. Understood? 25% of electricity is generated through hydro power plant. Now let us take a look how practically we can produce electricity through this hydro power plant.
Hydro power plant converts potential energy of falling water into electrical energy. High-raised dam are constructed on river, and here we can watch how it is constructed. When the water fills, they open the gate and the water from high level in the dam starts flow to downwards, and turbine is placed in that path. And here we can observe water starts to flow with high energy when gate opens and turbine started to rotate. When turbine rotates, it rotates the generator. Then generator converts the mechanical energy into electrical energy, and it lightens the lamp, and this is how we'll get electrical energy from hydro power plant.
Now we understood how electricity is produced from hydro power plant, right? Now this power plant contains its own advantages and disadvantages. Let us understand what are the advantages. See, advantages. This is eco-friendly, that is no pollution can be created from this method. And the next one is the water which we use to produce electricity, that can be reusable, right? And the next one is, since we are manufacturing the dams, constructing the dam, we can easily store the water, and that can be used for the irrigation purpose later on. That means we can store the water and we can avoid the flooding and all through constructing the dam. So these three are major advantages of hydro power plant. Now let us take what are the disadvantages. So there are many disadvantages, that is, we know how big the dam is, right? Therefore, it consumes a lot of area or a place. So hence, it will occupy a large area. So since it occupies a large area, what happens? We need to demolish some certain agriculture place, or else where the human beings live in place. So to construct dam, it requires a larger area. So due to that larger area, the ecosystem will be destroyed. We need to destroy more plants, more trees, more and more, right? And dam is not wherever we want we can construct. We need to select a place, and after selecting the place, we need to see that everything should be proper, like the human beings who are living there, we should migrate them. So it will again problem to the people around that region, and the agriculture land that will be used for the dam purpose. And one more thing, what happens when the dam is started to build, the vegetation roots where the water is stored, that will start a chemical reaction, anaerobic reaction will takes place, and that leads to methane, that will create methane gas, which is known as greenhouse effect gas. Right, so look at, see this. So here, what are the disadvantages means large area of agricultural land, a vast variety of flora and fauna, human settlement get submerged in the water. And the next one is a large ecosystems are destroyed, and vegetation that submerged underwater rots under anaerobic condition and produces large amount of methane, which is a greenhouse gas, and creates the problem of satisfactory rehabilitation of displaced people. So what was the last point we heard? Satisfactory rehabilitation for the displaced people. So people will argue that they can't adjust or they can't go and occupy some other place. So this is what happening currently. That means in our country they are planning to construct 2 more dams from Ganga river and Narmada river, but they have the issue that people who are living there, they are not willing to go away since it's their lands. So these are so many problems will come while starting construction of dam. So by looking care all those things, they should construct the dam. So here we have main advantages as well as disadvantages. Now let us study about biomass. What is biomass, which we already know? See, biomass is nothing but the dead parts of plants and trees and the waste material of animals and man are called biomass. So I think you understood what is that? The dead parts of plants and the trees and the wastage of animals and humans are gathered, and that will call as biomass. Under that, let us study how these comes under biomass, that is wood and charcoal, then cow dung. After coming to the cow dung, let us see about biogas. So here our topic is, the name of this topic is nothing but improvement in the technology for using conventional source of energy. That is, this biomass is nothing but an traditional source. Later on, how technology is used to improve this as a conventional source of energy. So we know that wood can be heated to get heat energy, and wood is also called as biomass. But we know that when we burn the wood, we will get large amount of smoke that creates pollution, right? And at the same time, wood has low calorific value. That means by burning the large number of wood, we will get only small amount of heat. So to improve that, what was our technique or technology used is here, by converting this wood into charcoal. Look at this. That means, thus by improvement in technology, we can improve the efficiency of traditional source of this energy. That means wood can be converted into much better fuel called charcoal. Now we understood, from wood only we converted that into charcoal. Now let us study about charcoal. What we studied about wood? Wood is nothing but it is also act as a biomass, but it has some disadvantages. To improve that, we converted that into charcoal. Now let us study about charcoal. Now what is charcoal? When wood is burnt in a limited supply of air, then water and other volatile materials get removed and charcoal is formed. In other words, wood should be burnt with some amount of oxygen gas and converted into charcoal. So this wood can be burnt with some in the presence of oxygen, and whatever the moist it contained in the form of H2O and rest of the material, volatile materials. Volatile is nothing but evaporation. So all those things will get evaporated and at the end it will give the product is called as charcoal, which looks like this, right? Charcoal is better than wood. That is because it gives high calorific value and easy to handle and transport. And one more point is does not produce smoke while we burn. So take a look. It is better fuel than wood because it has high calorific value than wood and does not produce smoke while burning, and it is a compact fuel that is easy to handle and convenient to use. Now let us see about cow dung. So now let us see about cow dung. We know this one, right? This is called as sagani. But here burning the cow dung as a fuel is not safe because when we started to burn this one cow dung, it will leave large amount of smoke and which creates pollution. And the next point is it has low calorific value. So to improve all these things, here also as we did used wood as charcoal, we have some important methods. That is, we can use this as biogas or gobar gas. Since cow dung has a disadvantages, that means it will leave, it gives large amount of smoke and a low calorific value. And one more thing, when we burn this cow dung, it will leave residue, that is ashes of this one. So again that will create pollution and all. So by converting that into biogas and gobar gas, we can take advantages of cow dung as a biomass. Now let us see what are the biogas. What is biogas? Biogas is produced in a biogas plant. Now let us take a look how practically the biogas plant will work.
The plant has a dome-like structure built with bricks and has inlet and outlet valves. And this is how it looks from outside. But under this it has a gas chamber where there is no oxygen, and the slurry of cow dung and water, it is poured inside the chamber through inlet valve. Then a gas is produced or formed by anaerobic microorganism that do not require oxygen to decompose. It takes a few days for decomposition process to complete and to generate gases like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. Then the produced gas is stored and it is drawn through pipes for use. And later on from this we can use this gas as a LPG for cooking purpose or some any other purpose. And this is how we'll produce heat energy from this cow dung, and this is called as biogas. Here slurry means a thick liquid consisting of water mixed with animal waste.
So from this we learned that anaerobic microorganisms decomposes the complex compound of the cow dung plus water slurry, and it takes few days for the decomposition process and generate gases like methane, CO2, hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. And biogas is stored in the gas tank above the digester from which they are drawn through pipes for use. So you understood how this biogas is prepared or gobar gas is prepared, right? Now as I told, it has many advantages. Now let us see what is the advantages. There are good advantages of biogas. That means it is used for lighting, and one more thing, it has a high calorific value. And the next is safe and efficient method for the waste disposal. And this is what safe and efficient method for waste disposal. And while burning, it doesn't leave anything like a residue or any ashes, so that is safe. And one more thing, in this process of burning this cow dung while converting in the tank and all the procedure, what happens? They will leave the extra waste that can be used as manure, right? A copra like that can be used as a manure. That means it is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay. And one more thing is, it is an excellent fuel as it contains up to 75% of methane, CH4, and leaves no residue as I told, and it is also used for lighting. So this biogas have more advantages. So now today's class we learned about thermal power plant, hydro power plant and biomass. See in the notes I given on the main points. How exactly the procedure for working thermal power plant and hydro power plant and this biomass. Now you understood exactly how the concept by looking the practical activity, right? You should be able to write on your own procedure if they ask, okay? They won't ask the procedure because they have many more exact points which we should give under these topics. So in case if they ask the procedure, how that is prepared, you should be able to write your procedure, okay? So these are the things which we learned in today's class. So write your notes and answer the homework question. Let us continue in the next class. Thank you.